Welcome to another episode of RTN News. I'm Tyler Mulvey.
And I'm Katie Bavoso. A baby is still in critical condition after being assaulted by a Pennsville man. 19-year-old Brooks C. Baxter was babysitting his girlfriend's baby girl on October 25th when he allegedly physically assaulted her. The bruises on the infant were delayed in surfacing and her response began to slow. And that is when she was taken by family members to the Nemours Alfred I. DuPont Hospital for Children. The hospital alerted the police of the baby's condition on Tuesday night. An investigation led the police to make the connection between Baxter as the assailant. He has been arrested and charged with aggravated assault, endangering the welfare of a child, and resisting arrest after attempting to flee from police, according to authorities. Baxter is now held at Salem County Correctional Facility in Mannington Township on a bail of $50,000.
New Jersey children are upset with the effect of Hurricane Sandy. On Halloween, Governor Christie signed an executive order on Wednesday that has postponed Halloween until Monday. After the destruction left in the wake of this week's storm, Christie decided it was best to delay trick-or-treating for a few days to give communities and state time to clean up obstacles like downed power lines and blown over trees, as well as time for power to be restored in those homes without it.
Green Day is not coming to the Philadelphia area. This past Wednesday, the popular punk rock music group Green Day announced they are canceling their club tour. They are also postponing all scheduled appearances for the months of January and February, which means they will not be coming to the Liacouras Center in Philadelphia, originally set for January 22nd. The new appearance dates will be announced soon, and all previously bought tickets will be accepted on the new dates. Green Day has also announced they will release their latest CD, Trey, on December 11th instead of January 15th.
Gloucester County avoids the worst of Hurricane Sandy. The day after the hurricane, many Gloucester County residents felt relief after seeing the minimal damage in their neighborhoods. Many local towns experienced the loss of electricity, downed power lines and trees, and several feet of flooding. But compared to the shore towns including Seaside Heights and Belmar, those towns consider themselves lucky. Many beaches were virtually washed away, and several boardwalks like in Atlantic City have been erased from the shorelines. The worst of it was the flooding that washed away many houses in those areas. Evacuation and early preparations left many people safe, but the state looks towards now is the cleaning up of all the damage left by Hurricane Sandy.
How did you hunker down for those few days, Tyler? Where did you go?
Bow 36, which is where I live. I don't know if it was wise to just tell my address on TV, but we kind of underestimated the power of it. We didn't expect, Seaside or Atlantic City to really get hit like the way it did. So we were very lucky that Rowan, especially in the Glassboro area, wasn't hit by the ginormous storm.
I agree. We were so prepared. I went with a bunch of my friends. We hunkered down. We made sure we had flashlights and batteries, and we even filled up the bathtub in case we needed to flush the toilet or boil water or anything like that. And nothing happened.
Did you use it? Did you use any of the flashlights?
No, it was just they were just sitting there, and then we ended up having a bathtub full of cold water because nothing happened. We didn't need anything. And then we found out the next day the destruction. So all our thoughts and prayers definitely go out to the families who are suffering from this hurricane.
Now let's go to Ashley Taradio to see what's going on around Rowan.
Thanks, Tyler. Rowan students were evacuated from Evergreen Hall, Mullica Hall, and Triad Apartments due to potential flooding from Superstorm Sandy. The students had the option of either going to their permanent homes away from campus or relocating to the Student Center. Though most decided to head home, the ones who rode out the storm in the Student Center were only permitted to bring essential items such as sleeping bags, blankets, and pillows. All students are back in their dorms and apartments. Rowan's student-run public relations firm Praction, one outstanding firm in the nation at the Public Relations Society of America 2012 National Conference in San Francisco. Praction allows members to get PR experience by working with real clients and adding work to their portfolios. Praction President Michael Moeller says a big change this semester is that the firm is only working with real businesses instead of student-run companies or clubs. Alpha Phi Alpha hosted the 29th annual Homecoming Step Show in Flieger Hall. Greek organizations from different colleges performed in the competition. The show featured special guest DJ Walla, who kept the crowd dancing in between acts. The Greek organizations Alpha Kappa Alpha and Phi Beta Sigma won the cash prizes of $1,200 each. Rowan Radio WGLS-FM is under new management. General Manager Frank Hogan announced he will be retiring at the end of 2012, and current Assistant Station Manager Derek Jones will take his spot. Hogan has been involved with Rowan Radio since 1977 and says he is honored to have been associated with the station and the university for all those years. Rowan alumnus and host of WGLS The Rock and Roll Time Machine, Leo Kirshner, will also join the staff as Assistant Station Manager. A 7-foot bronze statue of Henry Rowan will be placed in front of Savitz Hall before the end of the year to thank Henry Rowan for the $1 million gift he gave the university 20 years ago. The Rowan University Foundation decided to have sculptor Zenos Frudakis sculpt the statue. Frudakis has previously sculpted the statue of Phillies player Mike Schmidt that is outside of Citizens Bank Park and the National Air Force Memorial Honor Guard sculpture in Washington, D.C. I think a sculpture of Henry Rowan is the least we can do for giving $100 million. I don't think the school would be anywhere near as big as it is if it wasn't for him and his wife.
Was it $100 million?
It was $100 million on the nose.
See, if I ever become rich, I'm donating $101 million here so I can get a statue of myself. It's going to be called Mulvey University.
We've had this conversation so many times
and I'm
on
gonna
this
have
show.
Mulvey sweatshirts
but I'm going to be able
everywhere.
to do this first.
We'll see about that, Katie.
A man is arrested in Glassboro robberies. 37-year-old Robert R. Ramos of Atco was arrested Sunday night after a resident called police to report a man attempting to break into the residential sheds on Reading Street. When the police arrived, Ramos attempted to flee but was quickly caught. Police also determined Ramos had burglarized 2 cars on Reading Street as well. Ramos was arrested and charged with burglary and trespassing and was then held at Gloucester County Jail on a bail of $5,000.
Sandy kills 56 in the U.S. superstorm. Superstorm Sandy, the hurricane that has hit the East Coast, has a death toll now of 124 people, 56 of those in the U.S. President Obama visited Brigantine, New Jersey Wednesday, helping the residents and seeing the damage. Obama said, quote, "We are not going to tolerate red tape. We are not going to tolerate bureaucracy. And I've instituted a 15-minute rule essentially on my team. You return everyone's phone call in 15 minutes, whether it's the mayors, the governors, or the county officials."
A shooting at a Halloween party. At a University of Southern California Halloween party, a shooting occurred after an argument between 2 men. 3 people were injured while the one of the men in the argument was critically wounded. Captain David Carlisle of the university's Department of Public Safety says 2 people are in custody.
Hospital evacuated in New York. At the Bellevue Hospital, National Guard troops carried patients out of the hospital after the hospital lost power. Alan Alves, president of the New York City Health and Hospitals Corporation, said, quote, "It was obviously not anticipated that we would get this surge of storm of this magnitude," end quote. "We've never seen anything like this at Bellevue Hospital," end quote. Ambulances have carried patients to other facilities. You know, people complain about the loss of power because they can't go on the internet or play video games or things like that or watch TV. But you got to remember, there's people in hospitals that lose power that need that electricity for vital, vital things.
Absolutely, and they said they weren't evacuated. Some of my family members in Long Island faced the same thing, and they were hit by the surge. 2 of my aunt and uncle were just able to make it to the top step before their doors blew in at one point. So the insanity that it was that some of these places weren't evacuated, they just didn't know what was going to hit them. Nobody knew. You could be miles away from the water, and still a 14-foot wall of water came in.
We're going to be back with more news and Aaron O'Malley's weekly health tips after this.